Take the roll call. Cam Maggart's here, Vince Frederick here. Murray Smith is absent. Pete Perez.
Here.
Sharon De Marseille.
Here.
Okay, we got a quorum. Comments from the public. Don't sit. Okay, you got it.
Monday night at, you're vice president of Roman's Mill. I was called.
I'm not,
You're on the website.
but they still haven't updated. I resigned from,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
And,
I wasn't there. I've gone,
I'm making a presentation at Rogan's Mill
yeah.
on Mud 6 and 36, but I'm doing it as an individual, not as a mud director. And if anybody would like to come and fact check me, you're very, very welcome. I was hoping you'd be there, Vince.
No, I haven't made many of them.
No, Murray tonight.
No Murray tonight.
See this?
Yeah, they've got a new, I was vice president last year and Bella's the vice
Oh,
president.
here?
Yeah.
They need to upgrade.
Update the page. Yeah.
Change the website?
Anyway, so anybody and everybody is welcome for you guys.
Okay, number 3, consider an act on the request for adjustments. Do we have any requests for adjustments? Jeannie?
No, sir.
Anybody else? We have none. Okay. Consent agenda. Has everybody reviewed the consent agenda?
I have, and I
Okay.
have a couple of questions for Maureen and the general manager.
Which page?
I'd like to take out number 5.
So
Would you like me to speak now? I have my questions.
number 5.
Okay, Eric and Maureen, page number 5. Obviously, this was the end of our budget year, started our new year. So I was looking at the expenses and the allotted budget for sewer repairs, which is 5309. There was a savings of 229,000 and a little more. On the category of 5,312 large ditch repair, there was a savings of total of large ditch repair and maintenance, a total savings of $46,000 and others. And then on storm sewer maintenance, storm sewer repair, we were 9,600% under budget at we saved $49,075. At the bottom, also, I want to commend you all in the 005430 merchant service processing with the new system we have. That was amazing. We saved from not having credit card use $14,863. Do we have this money already appropriated for another category in the 25-26 budget?
Yes,
Remember that 250, that 248 didn't get spent. So they just carried it over to,
correct, because it was in there hoping that if phase 3 got completed, engineering completed, that we would move it forward. We put it in the budget. It's still in the budget this year.
Okay,
So
and
it's in there.
that's for sewer repairs
Correct,
and maintenance.
correct. Sewer repairs.
Okay, and then what about the large ditch repair and the maintenance? I know y'all have been working really diligently on that, but this is for month 36. Looks like we saved quite a bit of money.
Well, so for many of the items up till this year, we try to estimate what we think might happen.
Sure.
So we kind of use last few years of data to try to help us with, in your current budget that you approved last month, we actually had real
Actual
actual
figures.
projects that we had identified in our ditch evaluation. So it wasn't that we didn't do what we were anticipating on that line item last year. It was just, we had put in an aggressive number because we weren't sure if there was things that would be breaking. This time in your budget that you approved last month, it's actual specific things that we've
That we
identified
targeted.
that were
Okay.
targeted that we do intend to do this year.
Okay,
Yes.
great. One other small thing, on the minutes, is that on the consent agenda?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I just wanted to make a correction since I serve on the community working group. That was on page 4. It said there will be a community working group, at the township. They decided to hold that as a Microsoft Teams Zoom meeting. And so I just wanted y'all to know it was not held at the township. Oh, it said it first. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I'm looking at the old minutes.
I
And
think
then
it's,
it did say it will be available on Zoom, on the regional water tables, but, oh no, that was the water table. No, she decided to do the other, the community working group on the Zoom also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent
I
agenda.
second it.
All's in favor? Aye. Okay. Number 9, receive the regular monthly SGRA Woodlands Division report. Chris?
Reports in your packet on page 19. The only thing I'll point out is on page 21, you'll see a slight uptick on the blue lines on the graph on your right. That is due to an anomaly due to a calibration issue with the flow meters at the sewer plants. So that was identified and it has been noted as an anomaly in the official record. So we will not use that in calculations going forward for flow calculations. That's all I have.
Was that in the software?
It was.
Oh,
Also, last month we had the 12-month number actual value table, you'll remember. And I've asked Chris to include that from now on as you trying to figure out what these actual numbers are on this graph. It's a little dicey. So he's going to include the table for, not only the flow, but various chemical properties. Okay. Anybody else have questions for Chris?
No, I'm just excited to see the geese in 36 is down, water in August. In spite of the fact that half the trees are dying.
Item 10, discuss or act on a water line renewal plan and analysis completed by HDR engineers.
okay, I'm just gonna give a summary. Last month or last week, SRA made a presentation to the trustees on their recommendation on how to proceed with the project. Couple high points of that proposal. One would be to take all tier 1 and tier 2 projects and spread them through the 10-year project plan. And then tier 3 projects would likely go at, after that, 12, 15 years, whatever. The scope of each of those 5 projects that are the tier 1, tier 2s would be slightly modified. And that is, and I can show you probably better on page 34, if you want to turn to that, what I'm about to talk about. The scope would be modified to include kind of a no-brainer piece of the project that is projects that have a lot of breaks, have back conditioning. HDR admittedly said, well, we did include certain segments on the peripheral of, the worst areas to create some economies of scale. These items or the spurs would be, maybe they were moderate condition with less breaks. So they were not in good condition. They just weren't as bad as the others. So the proposal would be to move forward with the philosophy that the projects would be scoped out to include kind of a base look and then an alternate look at some of those spurs that may or may not be in bad condition yet. with the idea that, from now until that project's ready to go forward, that we would continue to monitor those pieces. And, let's just say when that project's ready to go and that spur's had a bunch of breaks, then that gets pulled into the base project. Conversely, if it doesn't have any breaks and hadn't really changed, then it gets pushed out further until the next look, which would be project 3. And then project 3 kind of assess on the project 3 alternates. Are there any major break changes? No. Look at the project 2 alts that didn't get done then. Same thing. Has there been? Nope. Okay. Yes. Pull it into the base. So that would be kind of the philosophy. The other item would be the proposal to, on every 5 years, go through and do additional condition-based assessment of these lines to further evaluate if they've changed, if they're seeing more breaks, et cetera. So that would be kind of the 3 main points to the proposal. I do support that methodology. I think it works well. I think it gives us an opportunity to plan, for the base project and then pull in anything that, changes along the way in terms of break history. So what we're asking the MUDs for this month is to direct your trustee to vote at the November meeting on this methodology. If that's approved, then SGRA will take that methodology and then kind of build that 10-year plan accordingly, refine the numbers, refine the scopes along that methodology. So we'll be needing that concurrence to your trustee.
The methodologies don't include a cost right now, right? On these.
Well, you have the cost of the original proposal, but those will need to be refined so that we can do the financial analysis to see what would the rate need to do, how we're going to, how's this going to be funded, et cetera. So that'll be forthcoming.
So right now, all we're doing is approving the methodology, and the cost approval will come down in a few months. Yeah. Okay. Do I
Don't
have?
necessarily need a motion, just
I think it's already been passed by the trustees, correct?
No,
no.
we have to have a vote and tell me how to vote.
There was considerable, I guess, concurrence amongst the trustees that was their initial feel, was that they liked it, but they agreed to bring it back to the MUDs just to confirm, so to give you all an opportunity to kind of nod and say, yes, we like it too, and come back in November.
And Kent, you were saying your thoughts.
No, I was going to say that we need to give kudos to Eric and the River Authority and Chris, because they've had some individual meetings with several other MUD directors who I think have actually read this whole 500-page report. I don't know. So anyway, I defer to them, and if they're ready to go, I think we ought to approve it.
You said we don't need a motion.
We don't need an official motion.
Don't need an official one.
No,
Okay.
it sounds like there's concurrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
I'm in favor.
Okay,
All right, okay.
good.
I got one thing, Chris. There's been a lot of confusion about how we're going to pay for this. I'm talking about the individual MUDs and people talking about bond elections. And can you make a table of, when you finally get around to this, of what the water, it's going to be passed through, is my understanding, in the wholesale water rates.
Correct.
And could you make some kind of a graph or somewhere along the line, like if we spend 10 million, the water rate would be increased by this much, 20 million, 30 million, when we finally get around, so that people know what the cost is going to be to the individual.
Yeah, we'll be running through all the financials in that manner, just so
Right.
people can see what the effect is to the
But
customer.
there's some people who are still talking about bond election, and it's my understanding now, I thought it was going to go through as a lump sum payment that we'd be obligated to for 30 years, like the old.
Well, I mean,
And
Yeah.
we talked about that, and I've tried to explain it to a couple other people, but so anyway, if we could just have, when you make these presentations, so, something that is, that way we don't have to go back If it's 20, 10, it's this, 20, you know. But anyway, we need, good. Okay. We're seeing an update on the engineering design of the Bear Branch Dam.
So quick update, the preliminary design, engineering design contract is going to go to our board in 2 Thursdays with Schnabel Engineering. And,
Which company?
am I saying it right? Schnabel?
Schnabel.
Schnabel Engineering. So it's what was discussed, I guess, last month. I think that's the only thing Ed was talking about, right? For this one at least, yeah. So,
Yeah, so that'll authorize Schnabel to proceed with the preliminary design. I think our understanding is they will also request them to look at, other design alternatives that may be some cost saving measures if there's another way to do it versus just putting back what we have. So I think that's our.
I got a question. Has water ever gone over the secondary spillway in any of the Harvey vents or?
that's not my division, to be honest. I
I
don't pay attention. Harvey had quite a bit. Do you recall?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I know there was a lot of water coming over, but I don't remember if it was coming over the secondary
I
or
don't
not.
I know they have a tour tomorrow and the people that actually know would be there if any of y'all are going to, site visit. Yes, ma'am.
You got a V-shaped weir there that I assume that, do you have a remote monitor that monitors the height of that?
Yeah, I
I've
don't,
never seen one, but I just passed it driving by and so.
So I assume with that V-shaped weir, you can get a pretty good idea how much water's coming through there at any particular, I'm talking about at a peak event. I just wondered, because they were talking about that secondary spillway and, if it's, anyway, that's another issue, but whether it's ever gone over the secondary spillway or not. Okay. Anybody questions about the dam? Anybody's invited, I guess.
Is this something that we're gonna discuss?
We
or-
can do now under my report, either one.
No, we'll wait.
Happy to cover it now, but yep. I got some good news before we talk about that.
Well, number 17 is you and that, so
Okay, we're receiving an update on the Honeycomb Ridge easement.
So that's
There you
the good news. So we talked about last month trying to save on some survey costs.
Yes.
Pulling the deed for the original transfer of the property from the developer to the district. And so we did that and going back through the easement, we've all slept a few times since that deed was conveyed. There's an easement already granted in there that was reserved for the acre. Yeah,
For this reason.
oh
my gosh. No one read the.
yeah. So it says the grantor, which is the developer, conveys to Honeycomb Ridge Homeowners Association an easement across the property for the purpose of building, providing and maintaining a green space, park or other recreation area for its members. Yeah, so.
All that for nothing.
all that.
Well, I thought,
all that to save $10,000.
no,
That's the good news.
well, I thought that these people had actually reviewed that deed. That's why they came, I thought that's why they came to us, but obviously somebody just,
Well, when we pulled it.
We pulled the deed and.
Congratulations.
There's a little bit of work left to do on that, just from my standpoint and I've already talked to the homeowners folks, representatives, that when they do put that gate up on the side, on both ends, it needs to be constructed to a manner that allows us to get in there if we need to. And so a manway little gate isn't going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to do that, then, and I've asked just basically for them to submit the detailed drawings of the fence, because, and what I understand verbally is that it would be a bolted together wrought iron style of fence. And I know that those are either welded or bolted, and he said it's bolted to where we would be able to, remove panels so that we can get equipment in if we ever need to. So as long as I see that, I can sign off on that, and we won't need to expend the 10 grand that we talked about previously.
have you got a new person to talk to? Or did you talk to David Anderson?
Well,
Because
so
he's
I talked I talked to both.
Okay,
We talked to David months ago, but then at your last meeting, he couldn't attend.
right.
But
Well,
Mr.
turned out,
Bible attended. So
Yeah.
I've talked to now Anderson and Bible.
okay, so you got a new guy
I've got both.
because Anderson's moving. He ended
Oh,
up,
is it?
uh,
That may be why Mr. Bible's,
yeah, that's why.
I've talked to both of them.
Okay, but anyway, he's moving to, got his house for sale.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah, he didn't allow, but he has family over in Louisiana that apparently required that he move over there.
Oh, I didn't realize I knew his wife. She walks her dog on my street and she said they've decided to move near their daughter.
Yeah. So anyway, he went from president of the homeowners association in 1 month. But anyway, so you got a new person to talk to, Chris.
Yes. We're
Okay.
good. We're good.
See the attorney's report.
If that covers it.
Right.
Well, I need to be the next item. I'll run through that quick with y'all. Item 14, if you want me to go ahead and cover that.
Okay.
All right, so 14, you see the statute or the bill in your packet. Basically, it's another transparency bill in the legislature. It's information that's already provided to the state, either to the comptroller or the TCEQ, that they wanted aggregated into a new form of report that is submitted to the comptroller. So we're going to work with your staff and your financial advisor to prepare that initial report that has a 10-year look back period, 2015 to 2025, historical tax information, historical bond information, et cetera. The first report's due by January the 1st. After that, should be a very easy one-year look back report, just whatever you've done in the last year. We do need a motion by the board to authorize preparing that, to have your consultants and your staff prepare that report and submit it to the comptroller by the January 1st deadline.
So moved.
I have a second. Pete,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
all those in favor, aye. Aye.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah. Make sure you were awake.
Woke me up.
Okay. Even act on the general manager's report.
All right, just a couple things. Wanted to bring this to your attention, this little summary here on the yellow front part. You've seen this before. Just a summary of the funds required to finish out some of the dam work that we talked about earlier. We talked about this a couple months ago. I put it on hold from bringing it back to any of the non-stakeholder MUDs last month, because I really needed to get the stakeholder MUDs to focus on getting the engineering moving forward. And that was,
Did they do that?
they did, yes. So I'm bringing it back to the non-stakeholder MUDs just to, I know y'all had a vote and it was kind of down the line. There was no action actually taken. But I wanted to kind of show you something that is maybe a different philosophy that I've put together. The non-stakeholder MUDs are Metro, MUD 1, MUD 6, 36, and 39.
not 36.
Yes, non-stakeholder MUDs.
Oh, non-stakeholder MUDs, thank you.
And so for 3 of the non-stakeholder MUDs, you included, when we ran it on pro rata connections, your amount of potential involvement, if you so chose, was like $200,000. That was a non-starter. And I thought about, and it also affected some stakeholder MUDs adversely, which they didn't like. So I started thinking about different ways, and I'll give you some credit here. We had some, absolutely, Sharon helped me on this. I thought it was a great idea, but putting it in terms of a per household amount. And so I've kind of just thrown a possible option that y'all might consider. I do think it's important for all 10 MUDs to show participation in this as partners to the Woodlands as a whole. I know there's different opinions on that, but I wanted to show you kind of a different way to look at it. I think participation in any form, I think, is positive. From the finance look. I just threw in $10 per household times your connections, and that comes to about $20,000. That could be $2, that could be $1, that could be 20, could be whatever, if you have any interest. But I wanted to show you a different way to look at it that might be palatable to the board. I know we don't have a lot of leeway with our cash position. I understand that. I did look at what $20,000 would do to our cash position. And that would drop us from cash position at the end of next year, at this current budget cycle, is about $655,000 in cash at the end of, once we've done everything next year. If you took 20,000 out, it brings that, and that would entail about a 4.3% or 4.3 month reserve. At that point, this would drop that to about 1 point down to 3.2.
It says 4.2. It says 4.2, but you're saying it's 3.
No, don't look at the percentages there
Not
are
percent.
just the resultant of the
Okay.
numbers on the right. So
Okay,
it's
got it.
the numbers on the right weren't calculated based on those percentages. It's backwards, reversed. So I think this, whether it's 20,000 or some other number, I think that it's something that y'all
$1
could.
would participate. It's $1 would participate.
But what happens to this other 10 million? You only got 20,000 out of the 4.8.
Yeah, the other stakeholder MUDs have
I'm talking about,
tentatively agreed to 1.2 million already. And
no, but I'm
then
talking about this 14 million.
most of it's already funded. This is just contemplating the remainder of the
Oh,
Sure.
okay, so 4.8 is what's left out of,
correct. That does assume that we get the Crenshaw money from the Fed. The federal budget has to get approved for that, but if the federal budget does get approved, then we get an additional $5 million. This is just focusing on
okay, so this,
involvement to
we're just voting on a number.
just voting on a number.
Okay.
And
voting?
I would request that you
I'm gonna
do.
make a motion that it would look like we are participating. $10 per household is certainly a nominal amount, and it shows that we're part of the Woodlands Water Team. And you see, nobody else is even close to us. They're all twice as much as, almost 3 times as much as us. And I would like to make a motion that we use this formula to participate.
I second.
Is that $10 per household per month or
No.
One time
one
only.
time only? Okay, I could go with that.
We have a motion to second. All those in favor?
With that one.
Aye. Those opposed, none.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for working that out.
Yes.
Yeah, good job. Both of you kids.
Okay. See the water trustees report. Sharon said she looked at the video. I'm gonna require that everybody look at the video if you want to leave in the next 10 minutes. So.
I just trust the president there.
And-
He's representing us.
Anyway, the trustees report was primarily the report on the pipeline, as Eric. said.
Correct. Yeah, what we talked about earlier. And then in my GRP summary, I noted that that the GRP committee had approved a 10-cent reduction in the rate, which goes before the SJA board for approval. But my understanding is that's going forward.
10 cents,
Reduction
10%.
on the GRP rate
Okay.
due to the additional water the demand coming from Conroe.
When does that finally show up?
January, it was originally proposed January 1. Yesterday, I think it was, Chris indicated that it would, there's a slight modification. I think it's February. Like February, March. I think it was February. But soon.
So it's in the surface water. fee.
Correct. Correct.
Any reason to recess? All right, reconvene. Anybody have anything to put on a future agenda? All right, meeting's adjourned.
All right, you did it in 30 minutes.
You beat Deborah.